shop.
Hi, I'm Robert Osborne. Tonight we're looking at documentaries about famous actors, all of them made by the filmmaking team of David Heeley and Joan Kramer. And David and Joan are here with me right now to talk about just that. Welcome back, Joan and David.
Thank you, Robert.
Good to have you here.
It's great to be here.
Great to be here.
Now, up next is David and Joan's terrific documentary about the life and legacy of the man often called the movie's #1 actor of all time, the great Spencer Tracy. It was made in 1986 and is titled The Spencer Tracy Legacy, a tribute by Katharine Hepburn. Features interviews from some of the biggest names in Hollywood, not only Miss Hepburn, but also Elizabeth Taylor, Frank Sinatra, Sidney Poitier, Mickey Rooney, and others. So this was really something, because to put it in its time frame, nobody had really talked about Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn at this point. How did this documentary come about?
We had done a show in 1981
About Hepburn.
about Hepburn that cannot be seen because it's out of rights. And we're not sorry because she wasn't on it, but she gave her consent for us to do it, which was important because nobody else would have participated if she hadn't.
Right.
They were all a little wary after Garson Kanin wrote a book called Tracy and Hepburn about the friendship that he
And exposed everything for the
and
first time.
she was furious and banned him from her life for years. All of a sudden, I get a phone call after that starring Katharine Hepburn show had aired. What we didn't know is that we had been put through her secret obstacle course that she puts people through before she trusts them. And that show was the obstacle course. I get a phone call one day. Hi, Joan, Kate Hepburn. And she said, listen, now that I have friends at public television, why don't we do a show together about Spence? Well, it's the last thing I ever expected to hear. David came running in, and I said, Katharine Hepburn is asking us to do a show about Spencer Tracy. And very calmly, he said, ask her if she'll host it. And I said, Miss Hepburn, I'm back. How would you feel about hosting a show about Spencer Tracy? What the hell do you think I'm talking about? Of course I should host it. Come to tea tomorrow. We asked her at that point, why now? You've never agreed to talk about Spencer Tracy. Why now? And she said, because I could not do it while Louise Tracy was alive. And Louise Tracy died in 1983.
Well, your book covers it all in such great detail, but just give us a overall highlight about what it was like to work with her. Was that difficult?
The first time of really directing her was on the Riviera Country Club. And I have to tell you, the night before, I didn't get much sleep, the thought of directing Katharine Hepburn the next day. What I didn't realize that she probably hadn't had much sleep either, because she was doing something she'd never done before. She'd never hosted a show. She'd never read a teleprompter. She'd never looked into a camera lens. She'd been told her whole life never to look into a camera lens. And I'd already said to her, Miss Hepburn, you're hosting the show. I want you to look at the camera, and don't worry, we'll have the script there for you. So that morning, not only was I nervous, she was nervous too. And I say, let's try the first shot. Can you read, let's see if you can read the script on the prompter, because I'd asked her earlier in New York, I said, are you okay with seeing at a distance? Oh, I have no problem with my eyesight. I'm falling apart, but my eyesight's fine. So here she is at the first setup. And I say to the prompter guy, could you roll the first script for Miss Hepburn? I can't see, this is hopeless, I can't see it. Well, Miss Hepburn, let's just try a few paces closer to the camera. Still, it's absolutely hopeless, I can't read it. I said, no, Miss Hepburn, let's do it without the script. You know what you have to say here. You can ad-lib this. You're basically saying you've made this movie with Spencer, you made it here at the Riviera Country Club, and what your roles were in Pat and Mike. Why don't we just try walking through it? Her confidence comes back. She realizes she can do something she's never done before. And I have to tell you, by the third take, she's a dream. And from that point on, she's absolutely wonderful. She's got rid of her nervousness. The nervousness that I had
Right.
was probably nothing compared with the
Right.
nervousness that she had. Once she realized she could do it, she was an absolute dream to work with.
So now let's see it. Here it is from 1986, the Emmy Award-winning documentary, The Spencer Tracy Legacy, a tribute by Katharine Hepburn.